Welcome to You're Going to Be Great at This, the podcast where we help entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, sales professionals, and other self-employed folks turn prospects into customers and grow their businesses. We deliver practical tips and tricks with plenty of humor and dumb stories to keep things fun. I'm your host, Chris Costanis, so let's get going and make your business thrive. Hey everybody, this is Chris with another episode of the You're Going to Be Great at This podcast, sponsored by Surf Financial Brokers, your friends with living benefits. And today we have an encore visitor. Is that a proper term? Encore visitor? She's coming back. Let's just it's like English as a second language for the kid from North Carolina originally. And but our guest is Lindsay Shelton. She is the founder of Waymaker and has a couple other little irons in the fire. She helps out solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business owners, small teams. And thanks for coming back, Lindsay. I'm so glad that you did not, renege on your contractual obligations with us. How are you doing?
Chris. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time since we saw each other, and we always have that little joke going. And I met Lindsay on LinkedIn in a LinkedIn group. So for those of you who are just starting out in business or you've got your own little thing going on, go to LinkedIn, find a group. They're excellent. There's all kinds of networking groups. There's groups specific to your industry and things like that, or where you went to college and things like that. So it's all on there. But Lindsay is going to has come back today to talk about controlling your attention. Is that what you told me?
Yeah.
Yes. See, I'm pretty good at this. My attention span is that of a gnat. I will tell you that right now. I am the ADD child. My daughter told me this morning that ADD and ADHD are now recognized as being the same. So do with that what you will. So
Your community just got bigger,
I know. And all of a sudden I've got a bunch of people going, what?
So many
Look,
friends.
shiny. What? So, tell us a little bit about you, because our listeners may not have heard the last episode, but just a real quick recap about Waymaker and what you do.
Yeah. So Waymaker is a company that started with strategic branding. We designed a 12 workshop series that helped solopreneurs and teams to really pin down why their business is amazing and relevant in the world, and how they can market it in a way that's really going to connect with customers. And then later down the line, we added a membership program for executing on that big vision, which is called Action Planner. And it is a weekly session where we structured co-work, time block together, and we just do all of the necessary things to stay on top of your business so that it feels good to do, instead of like this cortisol creation with this love-hate relationship thing. Like that can only last so many years before you're absolutely burnt out. So Action Planner was born for that.
Action Planner. You need a shirt with an A on it. Action Planner and a cape. So that would
Thank you. I'm loving this. Taking notes.
Are you getting all this down? Do you want me to be a speaker in your Action Planner group next time, and I can?
You just wait until the next time I come on this podcast.
They'll be
It'll
one.
me
They'll be
and my
like
Kate.
they'll be insisting on refunds. Who brought this guy here? So tell me a little bit about controlling your attention. Is that for people like me who? Wait a minute, I just thought of something. No, never mind. Go ahead. I did it.
So, I mean, Chris, it's for all of us. We touched on it in the last episode, and we are living in like a highly, we're interrupted all of the time. If we have a curiosity, we can answer it immediately. There's no shortage of ways that we can distract ourselves. And, that has become a problem I mean, I would think it's become a problem. And so now the new resource is attention. It's really always been the resource, but now it's like a problem because of all the access that we have in the last 20 years. And so we have to start becoming a little bit more cognizant about how we spend our time and our attention. And there are some slippery things that I just wanted to touch on today. And we're going to talk about three things. The first thing that we're going to talk about is email subscriptions.
Is what
Okay.
now? Say that again.
Email subscriptions.
Meal subscriptions.
Email.
Oh, email subscriptions. Okay, I thought you were
No,
like,
meal subscriptions good.
are we
Email
subscribing to
subscriptions
meals?
bad. Heck yeah. We're gonna save a ton of time on cooking. Let's change the topic. Let's go with your
Okay,
thing.
let's go back to email subscriptions. I can always edit
Yeah.
things out.
Okay, great. All right, so we want to spend our time a little bit more wisely, right? And one of the things everybody's always trying to get from us is our email addresses. And that means that we're being flooded all of the time by other people's priorities and what their agendas are. And so, as leaders of a business, we're flooded all the time with email subscriptions from that coach that we thought we might use or that product we thought we might subscribe to. And if we are not unsubscribing and deleting those emails, that means that every time an email comes in, we're making another small micro decision. And if we're not ready to make that decision because we've made 1,000 other decisions that day, then we pause on it and then it continues to stack up. And so what ends up happening is that we have huge email boxes and we have not been able to sort through what's important from what's not important. And so we'll lose opportunities, we'll lose client engagement because we're flooded all of the time by email subscriptions. So that's number one. So a quick tip that I would recommend is to set a timer for 10 minutes to sort your email box by sender and then identify who the heck is sending you so many emails all the time. Ask yourself if it's important. And if it's not, delete them all and unsubscribe. For the love of God, you're welcome. I have a whole blog on this. There's like a little decision tree to make it easy. But email triage sessions are magic.
Love that. I love that because I get, I used to send out messages and emails to organizations for speaking. I say, hey, if you want me to come speak to your organization, I'd be happy to. And the next thing you know, I'm getting inundated. They've just signed me up for their email list, and I guess that was their way of getting back at me. Because I take things very personally sometimes. So, but yeah, I get what you mean. I spend a good minute and a half every morning just looking at an email going, do I really want to open that? It's from that same guy that I've not wanted to talk to in years. And sometimes you feel
Well,
like
the
you're going to
worst is
hurt
the
their
hopeful
feelings,
thing. I
you
think I
know?
do want to read it, but just later.
Yeah. Or I don't want them to get mad at me if I unsubscribe, because I'm a tender little guy too, and I cry a lot. So, as a matter of fact, right before we got on air, I was weeping uncontrollably. So,
Mm,
you know how that is. So,
yeah.
what's tip number two?
Well, so the second sneaky disruptor of our attention are push notifications on our phones. Do you know
Oh,
what this means? Yes.
yes.
Every app you download wants to have instant access to you whenever it feels like. So I don't know if you experience this, but I have had to, a number of times in my life, change the sounds that my phone makes because I've developed a stress response to the sound that it makes. Has this ever happened to you?
When my phone rings, I just feel my blood pressure go up because 9 times out of 10, I know it's somebody that, you know, I don't want to talk to. Uh, or it's a telemarketer. But yeah, I know what you mean.
hmm
You're just sitting there eating dinner sometimes, and you just get the little bam bam, and you're just like, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's
Well,
stressful.
and you're doing something that's important. Maybe you're in a flow state. Maybe you're doing like important work that you haven't been able to accomplish because you were already interrupted 25 times by somebody calling, somebody walking into your office, somebody emailing you,
Yeah.
And this is just one of those sneaky ways that we're distracted all the time.
Yeah.
So I also have a whole other blog article about this because I have a strategy around it. But really what it boils down to is I ask myself a couple of questions when I download a new app or if I'm constantly seeing notifications, because to me all it is cortisol. It's not helpful for every app to have the same level of attention because they don't all deserve it, but they are having the same impact on the way that we feel and our ability to focus. And so we need to make a leadership decision as well about push notifications. It's one of those insidious things of our time, of 2025, baby. Push
Oh,
notifications.
yeah.
So um, we're going to decide when something, there's two options that you have. I guess there's three. You can let it fly, right? You can continue to get a notification the same way. You can silence notifications so that they are still visible notifications, but they don't create a sound. Or you can turn off notifications completely. And for me, that's social media. I don't want any social media to pop up on my phone I got to put that in a tight little box because that is the most distracting thing. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you have it, I would put it on 100%
Yeah.
myself.
Now LinkedIn, I don't mind because it's usually something kind of relevant to what I need to be
Hmm.
doing. But Facebook and the rest of it, I don't need to know what someone had for dinner last night or,
Yeah. Well, I
how
mean, it
how
might
many
be
people like,
relevant,
yeah,
but do you need it to interrupt you?
no, absolutely not. Especially when I'm taking a nap in the middle of the day, which is often.
For real. It's really important. It's good for your brain to take naps.
I love taking
That's not
naps.
this podcast though. That's
That's the
a
next one.
better professional. I don't know.
Right.
I
I'm very
can't take naps
professional.
myself. This brain never stops. All right, so I have a couple questions that I brainstormed when I was writing this article that I feel like help you to frame it in your brain because we get some serious FOMO when a notification, when we're saying, "Oh my God, I'm not going to get the notification. I'm going to miss something really important." Um, Here's how I like to frame it. So, would I pay money to receive this notification?
Ooh, I like that.
Mm. Would I want this to interrupt an important meeting?
Mm, no.
Does this offer information that I need to act on right away?
Ooh, those are good questions.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it essential to my personal safety, my business operation, or my close relationships? Right? Like maybe
Yeah.
you don't always have the phone turned off. And the last one is, do I feel calm or anxious when I hear this notification?
That's just a matter of being aware of yourself. You
Hmm.
know, if you can tell that your blood pressure just went up a little bit because of something vibrated in your pocket, if you're aware of that, then what you're saying is spot on. Some people
Yeah.
may not be cognizant, or
Hmm.
they're just kind of like whatever. So
Yeah, and that's why I created these questions because it really like pulls it into focus, right? When you ask yourself like would I pay for this notification? No. No,
no,
this is like a nice to have. I'm afraid of not knowing the information. I'm afraid of being out of the loop. But there are super important consequences to allowing yourself to be interrupted all the time with push notifications. So I hope that's helpful.
yeah, that's awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk to our sponsor for a minute, and when we get back, we want to hear number three of this trifecta. How's that? That's a
Okay,
big
let's do
word. I
it.
like that word. We should make that
Great
the word
job.
of the day.
Trifecta.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's hear from our sponsor. Hey, everybody, this is Chris. And if you are self employed like me, then you probably don't have access to group benefits. And if that's the case, look up Surf Financial Brokers on the web at surffinancialbrokers.com. They have a full suite of benefits available: dental, vision, disability insurance, life insurance, all kinds of things that can help you protect you, your family, and your business. SurfFinancialBrokers.com, your friends with living benefits. Now let's get back to the rest of our show. And we're back. And we're talking with Lindsay Shelton from Waymaker and the Action Planner. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Action Planner.
Mm-hmm.
This is a job
Yeah.
for Action Planner.
Bum, ba,
And,
ba.
you need some theme music for Action Planner.
I don't have the cape yet, but I do have dreams of a cape now.
Have you got
So
a secret
thanks.
identity? Not now, because I just
Come
said
on,
your
man.
name.
How many to-dos do you got to put on my list today?
Maybe you need some push notifications for that. I don't know.
No, no, no. I'll never
No.
need that.
All right. So, on your 3 ways to control your own attention span, I guess is what we're talking about here. What was number 3?
So number 3, we'll see if this one is on the same theme. I think it is controlling the content that you bathe your brain in.
Ooh, well, that's kind
Okay.
of like a first cousin to the second one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so this is now nothing's coming at me, but I'm choosing what I'm going to, right? So this is the podcast that I'm listening to, the music that I'm listening to, the movies that I'm watching, the videos that I'm watching on YouTube, the videos that I'm watching on Facebook, depending on what um, your particular flavor is. Um, and this first came up for me when um, I decided that I didn't like scary movies a while ago. And it's kind of like snowballed since then. So scary movies make me feel a way that I don't need to feel. Like I had kind of a hard childhood. All my stress, like I've felt scared a lot and I don't need it anymore. Right? I need to save that for like when there's like a real emergency. So one way that I protect my nervous system on a regular basis is to just opt not to watch scary movies. Okay. The second way is, these are just like some examples I've noticed is the games that I play. I don't know if you play games on your phone, but I play games on my phone. I started a couple years ago as a way to like make my brain chill out. And so I have explored the breadth of games available on our phones. I'm a connoisseur, if you will.
Oh,
And I noticed there's 2 kinds of games that you can play. There are games that are based on a cortisol addiction or like an adrenaline reaction. And then there are like calmer games that don't create that in you. And I noticed that one, it's games with a timer or like an immediate consequence if you don't if you don't hurry up. So like I don't know, I get the game like the king who's always getting himself in a fix and he's about to be smushed by rocks or eaten
oh,
by a snake or whatever if you don't like move the gems in the right place. Like nobody needs to feel that way. So I had to draw the line when it came to games. Like I started recognizing that like I could feel it in my body. I'm stressed out. I'm really worried about saving the king. And I'm like, this is a game. It is supposed to be pleasurable. What am I doing to myself? What kind of feelings am I putting into my body and then thus bathing my brain in cortisol adrenaline? Because I'm
right.
trying to relax? That's not relaxing.
Lindsay, the king's not real. He's not real.
It's not
Just
real.
telling.
So I can't play them anymore, right? I just made it an executive decision that I'm controlling how I feel on a regular basis. And that one way is I don't watch scary movies. I don't play urgency games because they don't make me feel good. Um, and then the third way that this shows up for me personally is that is not watching the news.
I get it.
ever.
You didn't even have to go into that one.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, yeah, we really don't. But, and it's been, I mean, many years of me doing that, not just this year, but many years. And one, people tell me what I need to know. I can get that in a written form. Like things that are like really important, they'll pop up. But I don't spend my time worrying about things that I can't control, and feeling terrible.
Right. And that's, I'll give you a personal example of that is when I first got into sales again 25 years ago or so, I was, everybody I worked with was listening to talk radio because we're in the car all the time. You're riding in the car, probably three-fourths of your day is in the car. You're driving from one appointment to another or whatever. And you would just put on talk radio. And it took me about 6 months to realize that I was just getting angry from the
Mm-hmm.
things I would hear, and it was riling me up. And the next thing you know, I'm going into someone's office to talk to them about business, and I'm pissed off. And I'm like, nobody wants to buy from a guy that's angry all the time. They could
That's
they could
not the right
feel,
energy.
they could smell the anger coming off of me and the frustration. And I
Yeah.
had to just turn it off. I was like, I can't do it anymore. And there's certain things, news related especially, you just can't avoid. You're always going to get the big headlines or something's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen. A coworker's going to, hey, did you hear about so and so or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm like you. I have two questions I ask myself all the time. Does this affect my life? When something happens, I'm like, how important is this that's going to affect my life? And if it is it going to be affecting my life a year from now? And that's it. If it's, when somebody says, well, did you hear about who won The Bachelor or something or some, TV show or something? I was like, it doesn't affect my life any. I don't care. Now, if they say, did you hear about interest rates went up? Okay, is that going to be affecting me a year from now? That's a little different. So that's how I personally do things. So especially gossipy, celebrity gossip, things like that. I don't care. People magazine doesn't affect my life. I don't care. Um, so I get what you're saying. You have to prioritize and weed it out ahead of time. If I can get out in front of it and go, it's dismissed, then I don't worry about it. Does that sound normal?
Yeah, 100%. And for the longest time, I would tell people that, no, I didn't, I don't know, like I didn't know that happened and I don't watch the news or whatever. And then I realized that a lot of times we're just sharing things because we want to connect with people. And so I'll say something like, no, I didn't hear that. What's important to you about it? And that way I get to like share in whatever's happening in a way that's through the lens of this connection that's in front of me, right? And this is all, I don't know. I just think it's really important to manage your energy and manage your focus. And there, like you are the commander of your own ship. You're the captain of your own ship. So steer it.
Yeah. It's like a flower bed. There's only so much energy in that soil and nutrients. And if
Hmm.
you've got weeds,
Ooh, I
they
like this.
they eat up a lot of that. And if you've got
Hmm.
like I have a fig tree outside my house, and I have to go out there and weed around it because if I don't, the weeds will take up the nutrients and the energy that would go to producing bigger fruit, larger figs.
Hmm.
So mentally, I'm weeding sometimes. So
Yes, Chris, what a good analogy.
you're welcome.
I like it. I wish I brought it up.
Well, you can use that. And that's no charge. That's on me.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm a
Taking
giver.
notes.
I'm a giver. All right. Is there any last parting words you have for our listener today? Our one listener. Did I mention I have dozens of fans all over the world? So,
Amazing.
like probably 12 people.
I would say that the most important thing that you should take away is that you are worthy of feeling how you want to feel on a regular basis and operating at your peak performance. And that starts with the decisions about what kinds of information you allow to come to you and what kinds of information you go towards. It all makes a difference in your garden.
And it goes for people too. If you're hanging around with negative people, they're not going to
Oh
help
yeah.
you. They're no better than the social media push notification sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and clients, right?
Yeah, I
Who
agree.
needs those people sometimes?
Sometimes you need to fire a client.
Clients who just because they pay the bills doesn't mean all right.
Nope.
All right. Well, Lindsay, you're awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I know you're very busy, and we are more than grateful to have you come on. And if we ever need your help, can we reach out to you on LinkedIn and find you there?
Yep. Or you can reach out to me at hellowaymaker.com.
Hello, Waymaker. There you.
Hello, Waymaker.
Hello, Waymaker.
Now we're never gonna
Waymaker.
forget it.
I like that.
Hey,
Hey
what are we,
there.
pirates now?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Arr!
I was trying to talk like an old 1930s movie, like, "Hey there, what's up there,
No.
Waymaker?" So
Oh, I
anyway,
like it. Thanks so much.
hey, no problem. See, okay, enough of that. That one listener I had just turned everything off. Okay, thanks for coming on, everybody out there. Have a great week. Be uber productive. If you like this podcast, if you got something out of us, leave us a good review or a 5-star rating or whatever you have there. I don't know. And if you don't, buy me a coffee. You can go in the show notes, buy me a coffee. I'm a caffeine. I used to be like an alcoholic, but for caffeine. Is that called a caffeineaholic or a coffeeholic? I don't know. Anyway,
Capaholic.
yeah. All I know is there was interventions involved. I don't know. Anyway, so have a great week.
Doctor's wife,
Yeah.
co-workers.
Everybody go out there, knock it out of the park. Have a great week. And if you need anything, let us know. And if you need any help from Lindsay, I'll put her information in the show notes. And I look forward to hearing from you. And have a great week.
Thanks. Bye.
That was amazing. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more useful information to help you and your business succeed. Thanks for listening, and if you like this podcast, leave us a review. And if you really like this podcast, go to the show notes and buy me a coffee. I love coffee. Until next time, stay positive and be productive.